Hello everyone, and welcome to the electronic version of what is supposed to be my future physical board game. You'll have to excuse me if I'm speaking a little bit quietly. My roommate is asleep because it's an ungodly hour in the morning, and you'll also have to excuse all my programmer graphics because I'm not much of the artist. So here we are, main title screen. Yeah, click me to play. So we'll just get started. And then my game is basically like a turn-based strategy game, similar to Civilization, but pretty dumbed down. Although I can't really say too much about Civilization because I honestly have never played it. I was always more of a Age of Empires guy. So over here in the top left corner we have the resources for both the red and the blue army, obviously red and blue. And then we also have the town centers for the red and blue army. Now you notice that the red army is actually the normal color, while the blue army is darkened down, and this is because right now the blue army can't do anything, but the red army can move, build units, everything. So the object of the game is to destroy the other army's town center, and once you do that, it'll pop up saying you win, yay, and then it'll close the program. And so these are villagers right here, and obviously they're not very powerful because on every token you see, I guess I'll call it a token chip, on the right you have the attack and on the left you have a defense. And the entirety of this game is based off dice rolls. So I'll get to that in a little bit after I build a unit that will be able to fight. So we'll left click on him because we're in the movement phase right now. If you saw that pop up at the beginning, and we'll move him towards the farms over here, and we'll move this guy towards the rocks, because if you look in here we need 50 stone and 50 food to create a warrior. And I also have archers, but the archers are not completed yet, and I don't even think I can move them if I spawn them. So those are yet to come, and I'll explain what they'll do when we get to the fighting part. So I did start everyone with 50 of each, so we will spawn a warrior here. So you right click on the warrior to spawn him, and it shows up with every available spot around the town center that he can spawn. And you'll see that he can't spawn here because, I mean, there's already a villager there, so we'll spawn him here closest to the enemy. Alright, and we'll move him one away just to get him out of the way. And so now that all the movement phase is done, can't do anything more, we'll hit space, and you'll see attack popped up. It's not only attack, it's also where you can harvest materials. So you left click on a villager to harvest materials, and then right click on whatever you want to harvest. And this is because, say you had a villager right here and he was between these three resources, and I don't think it'd be very fair if he harvested both of them because he was next to both of them, so I made the player choose between whatever he wanted to harvest. And so now we're done with the attack phase because there's nothing really we can do. Hit spacebar again, and now we're on the blue team's phase. So we'll move this villager over here, move him over here, and we'll do the same thing. We'll build a warrior. I'll try to get these warriors as close to each other as possible, so that way we can see them fight before too long. Hit spacebar for the attack phase. We'll grab some food there. Go back to the red team, I guess, and looks like we're gonna need some more stone if we want to spawn any more warriors. So we'll also move the warrior down back into attack phase. I'll try to do this somewhat quickly so we can get to something interesting. Movement for him here. See, blue team doesn't have any resources. Attack phase. Right. Let's see. Now, what I'm gonna want to do is I'm gonna want to spawn one more villager, so that way I can obviously get resources a little bit more fast. That didn't make sense. That way I can get resources faster. So it'll take one more turn in order to do that because I've only got one guy by the farms. So let's get through this. Alright, so now I have enough. So next turn I'll make another villager. So So move this guy closer. Good. Farm. Alright, so now I've got enough to make another villager. So I'll spawn him right here next to this villager. And what I did with this game is, since there's kind of a limited amount of space, I made it so you could stack tiles. So you notice this has turned a yellow color. So I'll right click on it, it'll stack, and you see now there's 2 of them here. So that way when I harvest the rock, I'll get 20 resources instead of just 10. You can also do this with warriors, and they'll throw out more dice and everything. So we'll move him down here. And so watch right up here at this stone. So you'll see it'll jump to 40. Alright, sweet. Alright, movement, move him over here. Just trying to get to the fighting part. Alright, so now enemies are right next to each other, so once again, I said the attack is on the right and the defense is on the left. And the way that attack and defenses work is it's a dice roll, and so when I left click on him, you'll see a sword pops up on who he can fight. And when I right click on that, a dice will shoot out in a random direction and bounce around and everything. And then it'll give me a random dice roll, D1 through 6. And if the dice roll is equal to or less of the attack, then the attack is hit. And if that happens, then the defender gets to roll the die. And if it's a 3 or less, then the attack is blocked. But if it's a 4 or higher, then this enemy is defeated. So let's see what happens. So it throws the dice out, and the attack hit the first time, since I got a 4. So it throws out another dice, or another die. And then the enemy is defeated because it's above 3. So then the enemy goes bye-bye. So with the warrior, he can attack either in the top direction, the bottom direction, the left, or right. But they're really only the biggest difference between a warrior and an archer is a archer can attack 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom, 2 to the left, and 2 to the right. But he can also attack in each diagonal direction. But on the flip side, he does have a much lower, or not much lower, but he has a lower attack and defense. So I think that's pretty much it. I won't go through an entire game and defeat this. You'll just have to trust me and the fact that once it's defeated, it says game over, you won. So I think that's just about it. So I will try to post the actual game onto the discussions board so you can try it out for yourself. But if not, then I guess you'll just have to go by this video. Feedback is always appreciated. I'm trying to work out all the little kinks and bugs in a digital version before I start taking tons and tons and tons of time cutting out little tiny pieces. So, feedback, I appreciate it. Thanks.